Family, how y'all doing? Y'all good? I love it. If you're not good, get better, because y'all in Poetic Jams land now. Hey, how y'all doing back there?
We good.
We love that, you know what I'm saying? Huh? How am I? I'm hot. It's hot. We have to cut the fan off for this, okay? So I need you guys to be just the type as I am, that we ain't got no heat, but we still here doing the thing, okay? Got me feeling like a raisin bacon in the sun out here. That reminds me, not to get off on a tangent, but that's our topic for today. We are going to get into one of, I think I speak for everyone when I say this is like the most prolific and inspirational black poet to ever do the dang thing. And I feel like y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna need y'all to give it up for my man, the poet who knows it, Langston Hughes. Hello there. I am not Langston Hughes. I am his earthly adjacent, let's call it. But let's get into my man Langston. He was born. You like that, don't you? Yes. He was born February 1st, 1901. Shout out to all of my Aquariuses watching. And his love for poetry started very young, like our host and our executive producer. Around high school, something that was a fun hobby, but something that would take a much larger precedent in his future. Though he loved poetry, Langston had to take some odd jobs. And I know that so many of us creatives and just people in general can relate to that. In having to sacrifice your dreams in lieu of responsibilities or obligations or expectations even. And Langston was no exception to that. He had to be a busboy. He was an assistant cook. He was even a launderer. Though in the end, his love for poetry and writing became his longtime and lifetime passions. His life and work were extremely important in shaping the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s. And if you don't know what it is, shame on you! You uncultured swine. Look it up! And then come back to the channel. His poems were particularly known for his insightful look into the black experience in America between the 1920s and the 1960s. He wrote novels, short stories, plays, and poetry, and is also known for his work with jazz music and the influence it had on his writing, hence the genre known as jazz poetry. And again, if you don't know what it is, shame on you. Go look it up and then come back to us. It also influenced his book-length poem, Montage of a Dream Deferred. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Whoa, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, whoa, hold fast, hold fast, hold fast, hold fast to dreams. Langston wanted to tell the stories of his people in ways that reflected our actual culture. Not just about the struggle, but about our love of music, laughter, and language itself. Unlike the other black poets of his time, like Claude McKay, John Toomers, and County Cullen, Langston refused to differentiate between his personal experiences and the experiences of Black America, because to him, they were one and the same. Notable works of Langston Hughes are as follows. Dreams. Let America be America again. The Weary Blues. I too am America, and the Negro speaks of rivers. So we shall conclude this with Mr. Hughes, thank you for your contribution to not only the poetic culture, but to Black culture as well. Just to talk in like this. Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I had to talk to some executive producers to get it right. Daniel? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, me and Daniel. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing for a different time. But I need y'all to get back in the vibe. Don't let that fool you, you know what I'm saying? Like what we learned. Anyway, I need you guys to welcome our next poet in this series. Guys, give it up for my brother, Adonis Richards.
I sit back in my bed and think about all the things I could accomplish in 9.5 minutes. That's my favorite song played twice. Is that enough time to cook rice? To tell my mother I love her? To take a life? Imagine how much fear you must have in 9.5 minutes. You don't really think about it because that time passes without you even checking. Imagine not knowing when the clock will stop ticking, but your mind keeps preparing for it. Because the angel of death is grinning as your lights dim in. 9.5 minutes. Imagine how long that must feel. How painful and inhumane this type of behavior reveals the generations upon generations of hatred and chaining. We unveil curtains upon curtains of skeletons in the closet of a company. Disguise itself as a country, making false narratives to feed the tame beasts their meat. Day after day after day, we feed the same bullshit of hate, lies, and poverty. As the rich get greedy off our hot blood spilled on the ground, ripe and cooked just to their liking. Silenced and hypnotized by TV screens and impatiently waiting for the next big thing to come as we violently march to our dooms, blindly looking at one image in the room, not brave enough to turn our heads to the bigger picture. And the result? 9.5 minutes of torture to stop the world. All the time wasted trying to prove that one's race is paces ahead of the other as we fall deeper into the matrix and fall into the abyss and try to relinquish our agony through cannabis and narcotics. We continue to perish in the endless madness that sucks our souls and uses our energy to oppress us more. No power. No spaces for recharging. No ability to create sustainable change. Divided by rage and screens meant to train us to believe the facade that we are free, and the result, 9.5 minutes of agony, followed by months of protesting, being overthrown by rioting and looting and bodies piling while ideologies clash with masses colliding, attempting to break the constructs that bind us by race, gender, size, sexuality, and color. And now we've fallen into this trap, piling like monkeys in a barrel, and we keep trying to remind you that there's an ocean to explore and a factory to destroy, yet you still believe that this hell you're forced to endure is a heaven that you have to make by assimilating into the norms another motherfucker decided to create. And the result? 9.5 minutes of hate. The validation that we are great is limited by these parameters that are ruined by the liquids of hate, lack of change, and it only eviscerates our capability to advance past the obstacles that block our conduits for change. We're suffering from goggles set to make us think that monetization is our only way, and we've succumbed to this pain for so long that monetization is our only way, that building within is not our only escape, that walking away from this very systems that create this gateway to eternal flames in this reality we only create more harm than good. This isn't the fear of the unknown, but the inability to segue into tangible change that can sustain every living being at one time. This cage, it feels so tight. It suffocates. But I can only imagine the amount of pain one must have felt when they had a knee on their neck for 9.5 minutes. Let's go.
Wow. Adonis, dude, like, man, you always been like a poet that speaks their mind and lets his words just speak for the emotions, which is, you know, what poetry is. But family, I need you guys to give a warm welcome to one of the flyest individuals I know, one of the flyest poetics to ever poet. You know what I'm saying? That's Adonis Richards. Y'all give him a virtual round of applause and all that love and energy. Dude, like, what's up with you? How are you?
I'm good, man. You know, I'm doing my best to do as best as I possibly can to live this life that we're in. You know,
You are a poet that has two books out. You have a website. Um,
Yep.
you are a content creator. So what I want to know real quick is the story of Adonis Richards as a poet. Tell me how you got started. Tell me like how like you got from where you started to now. Like I want to know about Adonis.
Okay. Well, growing up, I would like to say, you know, quote unquote, an alternative Black child. You know, I was into a lot of things, you know, out of what we would call the norm, quote unquote, you know, because there's no real normal Black person. You know, we're all different in our own ways. But yeah, I was always into creating things and writing, like telling stories and stuff. I had trouble telling it audibly, but I was always good at writing, and that was a lot. I had a lot to do with, you know, like my grandmother was an English teacher, so I was born, you know, learning how to master the English language. I want to say master. Let me not say master, but like I had a stronghold on how to utilize and abuse, from my point of view, the English language. You know, my mother, she always said she was reading Shakespearean novels at 3 years old. So I've always had this uncanny ability to utilize words. And with my ideas and wanting to create and all the things I've captured up along my lifetime, I just, you know, I've always been a creator and a writer and the ability to speak profoundly. I didn't necessarily pick up on that ability to write and create until I was around 20 years old in college. You know, when I started actually doing things within my school, trying to help a PWI accept, understand, and create for, you know, students of color. And, you know, I started stepping into that light. And it was a very hard task for me because I was afraid of my own words, my own creation. I didn't understand the power behind the things I was saying or the things I was writing, you know, despite the people that encouraged me and things of that nature. And so I was really shy with the words I was putting together until a friend of mine passed away. I finally said I need to. I have all this pent up sadness and confusion, and I need to say something. So, as you know, back in Potsdam, the hip hop showcase, you know, something that a friend of mine and I created. The second one, I decided to perform, and I get a masterful performance with a good friend of mine, Renee Smith, who's also a good poet. You should check her out, you guys, if you got the time to. And it was at that point I realized I have something here. And from then on, I just took off with it. I started putting together poems, and that's what came of my second book, my first book. And then from there, I just started gaining more and more confidence. So I've always had this natural ability to write and create, but I just never had the confidence to until I finally said I need to take this leap. And here I am now. And there's more to it. I was a little vague. I'm sorry. I'm working on getting more in depth, but yeah.
Hey man, that is the fact that you got from point A to point B, man, is a testament in itself to not just you as a poet, but you as a person. So, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations, first and foremost,
Thank you.
on all of your successes.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? I got a question. You know what I'm saying? So I look at poetry as like a dish, right? So like let's say it's soup. You know what I'm saying? You got your auntie soup and you got your nephew soup. Now both of these soups, they good, but they good because they threw their little you know they little sprinkle a dash of what their unique ingredient is.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for you is, like, Adonis Richards poetry chicken soup. What what ingredients go into Adonis's poetry?
This is a very interesting question. I think a lot of Black consciousness and Black thought go into it. Supporting and elevating Black people. Motivation, I think, is a key ingredient. I think a lot of people tell me when I speak my poetry, they feel motivated to go out and do things. And I think that's the most important ingredient for me. I want people to feel like they can do something, because it took me forever to feel like I could do this. There's probably a lot more that I can't think off the top of my head, but just the combination of metaphors and words that I put together. You know, I take certain words and change the meanings of them to not to fit my poetry, but to show people that the English language is very dynamic, or just words in general have so many different meanings and purposes. So yeah, I think those are the ingredients I usually use. Those are my key ingredients.
Okay, so 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Obviously, this is about the, unlawful and wrongful death of one too many Black bodies. And I just want to know, man, like, where were you in coming up with the idea to get the words to put this this powerful piece in the ether, and to let people see and experience it? Where were you mentally, physically, emotionally with that?
I honestly say it was a dark time, because you're going through, one of the most powerful, revolutions I've seen in my lifetime. And I'm only 26. So imagine what's going to happen 10 years from now. But when I watched the entirety of the 50 states mobilizing and marching, and protesting brutality on Black and brown people, and you become desensitized, pained, inspired, hurt, scared, happy, and excited, all in the same breath, and it becomes a whirlwind of emotions that you can't even understand or grasp in that moment in time. So for me, I was in a rush of trying to figure out where could I play my part in this moment, in this movement. And those words started gravitating to me, because when, it started off, we heard about Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and there were a few more. And then George Floyd was almost like the tipping point. And all you could hear was he had a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And you sit down and think, how many people don't know it's their last moments, but can see it coming. You can see death walking towards you. And that was the scary part. It was like he knew he was going to die in that moment. And what do you think in those moments? It makes you really question, how long is 8 minutes and 46 seconds? Because I'll play my video game for an hour and it goes by like it never happened, But for 8 minutes and 46 seconds to go by, and every second could be your last. And that's where the power comes from. It's like the legitimate fear, because any one of us could be George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Sandra Bland. These are just names I'm naming. I don't know all of them. I want to get into knowing all of them, but it's like any one of us could be any one of them at any moment. We don't know. But for that person to know that this is it, like how do I spend my last moments? And I sat there and said, all right, what can I do in these moments? And that's how the words started flowing out of my mouth, or into my, as my fingertips went onto my phone screen, into my notepad, and then out of my mouth. So that's really where it came from. It was just a combination of my emotions and the thought of what is it that I can do in this time.
Right.
So
Donnie, how do you see poetry, your poetry playing out in the sense of your family, your friends, your supporters, your fans? How do you see your poetry affecting them in the long run?
I was gonna say New York Times bestseller, but I no.
Hey, speak it, dog. Speak.
I speak it, one day. But I just want to touch people with my words. I mean, long after I breathe, I want to reach that Shakespearean level, but also I just want to be able to have someone come to me and say, your words helped me through a hard time, or I learned something from what you said. That's what makes the experience. When someone comes to me and says, "Nah, I really liked your book." No, this one poem right here really hit me hard. Like I felt that, and that's what makes the experience. Where it's like you sat down and took the time to read and listen to what I was saying, and it affected you in a positive way. That's what I see, in the long run. I mean, yes, I do want to be a New York Times bestseller, but I just want to affect and touch people in positive ways through the words I speak.
Hey, man, I love that. I love that. Like J. Cole said, deep down, every poet just want to be loved.
Yep, facts.
Yeah. So, man, thank you again and again and again and again for lending your vulnerability, your creativity to us. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us and just talk. You know what I'm saying? And talk shop in a way that's not talking shop. We just talking, and this is just how poets and people that love poetry they just talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what I love and this is what I do. People, I'm gonna let him do it too, but I'm gonna do it first. All right. My son has got 2 books out. Donnie, show him the books because I know you have them on you.
Okay, so I only have the Quarantine Chronicles on me. I'm waiting for a shipment of the original, my first book, but I definitely have like a lot of books of the Quarantine Chronicles right now. The first one is titled Confessions of a Hopeless Creative. They are both available on Amazon.com. All you have to do is look them up. They're also available on my website, which is AdonisInquiry.com. Okay. Preferably, I wish you buy it from my website. That way I can sign the copy. And you can help a starving artist out, But yes, these books are amazing. Check them out. They're really dope. They're really fun. You get to write in them. That's the best part about it. There's writing prompts. Look at that. Boom. And there's lines in this one now, so you can follow the lines and stuff like that. But yeah. Thank you.
Hey, listen. This is Poetic Jams, where we put people on the poets and poets on to people and poetry on the people. You know what I'm saying? So I need y'all. I see y'all. I see you. Please, come on, guys. We are all about spreading love, spreading positivity. And I need y'all to support. You know what I'm saying? Is your blog attached to the website as well?
Yes, it's my blog, my website. I'm working on apparel, all that jazz. I also do website design and book editing, all through that, working on a publishing company. Just check me out.
Check them out. Hey, man, thank you again, man.
I appreciate you, brother, man. Stay black, stay strong, take care of yourself in this quarantine, all right?
All right, you as well, my man.
Bleep. That is all for today, folks. I just want to give a huge shout out again to Adonis Richards, my brother. Thank you for lending your creativity and your inspirational words with us. It was a great interview. And if you guys don't agree, the unsubscribe button is somewhere down there. I don't know. But anyway, did you guys feel the music? I know you did, because you grooved with me. Either you laughed or you didn't, or you was just feeling the music. That music was brought to us by our very own Sunny Music of Legacy Music Productions. He is our sponsor for today. Thank you so much for your kind time, because you found the time to make time for us, and we appreciate it so much. You guys can follow him on Instagram at Legacy Music Productions. Down below. I don't know. You guys scroll down, find it. But thank you again, guys, for tuning in.
We love to see the support. We love to see the vibes. If you want to support, if you want to buy us a cup of coffee, if you want to turn on my lights for me, if you want to, give me a little dollar slice, all of our ways that you can donate and support us will be in the link tree also down below. Thank you guys. Stay beautiful, stay safe, stay authentic.